tuning in this Wednesday. 2K Sports presents the NBA. Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Here are tonight's starting lineups presented by State Farm. First for the Magic, Nelson and Richardson are manning the backcourt. And it's Dwight Howard locking down the middle. He's the definition of a superstar and is always a major factor. Then it's Hedo Turkoglu and it's Anderson in at the four-man position. And for Miami, Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. You've got Haslam. They utilize his abilities to maintain that presence under the rim. And it's LeBron James, and it's Bosh in at the 4.
Well, the big story, of course, a year ago for Miami was the formation of the big three, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And although it took some time for those three to click, eventually they figured it out.
And so the tip-off, it's Miami. And Chalmers kicks to Wade. There's the pass to Chalmers. Shot from the wing. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Chalmers. LeBron's now got the first points up on the board for the Heat. Stay back to what you said about Miami. They struggled out of the gate. They were 9-8, but after a rough November, they kicked it on in December. And Clark, I think really the game that kind of spun them around was their first LeBron appearance in Cleveland in early December against the Kings.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. I recall that. That was almost like an NBA Finals type atmosphere in terms of the media attention and so forth. But in that month, they went 15-1 and really seemed to find their rhythm. And quite honestly, never looked back.
Right now we're going to go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. What'd you find out, Doris?
Yes, Kevin, making good decisions and being smart with their offensive chances is what Coach said is going to be a key to their success in this one. As he noted, they're up against a team that works very well together as a defensive unit, and forcing shots and rushing plays right into their hands. Can they avoid it, Kevin? We'll see.
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. What approach to use against the opposing D, I guess, in the front of their minds, it sounds like, Clark.
Yeah, well, it's a tall task when you take on a team as sound defensively as they are, so you just have to be sharp in your execution.
Steve?
Yeah, you got to be sharp, but you also have to attack. I mean, if you're not aggressive against this team, they're going to take control of you, and all of a sudden, they'll have control of the game.
When the Heat struggled early on last season, Eric Spoelstra was unfairly thrown on the hot seat. He kept his cool, though, very impressively, and the Heat turned their season around, and the talk quieted down. That's a credit to Spoelstra.
Turkoglu kicks to Nelson. He kicks it to Howard. 5 on the clock. Pass to Richardson. It's stolen by Wade.
And you're asking a lot out of your teammate to try to handle that pass. I don't like that decision at all.
Here's Anderson. Blows the dunk. Back to Spoelstra at Miami. Clark, with the way the Heat finished, you have to think things will change. I know, Steve, you were very impressed with the way he managed that team in the postseason.
Yeah, I thought Eric Spoelstra was great. Now, a lot of people are focusing on the final series when Rick Carlisle stole the show. But to be fair to Spoelstra, he inherited a very difficult situation.
And LeBron pulls it down hard.
Boy, that is an alley-oop of the highest order on the front and back end.
Well, play they've been working on, I'm sure.
That's got to be the case because that was impeccable timing.
Here's Nelson. It's an 8-point differential. And now the first timeout called here for the Magic.
The coach doesn't look pleased at all. He's going to try to iron things out.
Joel Anthony's checked in for the Heat. Coles comes in for Mario Chalmers. J.J. Redick's checked in for the Magic. Duhon comes in for Jameer Nelson. 1:21 left to play in the first quarter. D2 from Anderson. The Magic again can't hit.
Last year, Dwayne Wade up to his usual tricks as he put up another great season. And we've certainly become accustomed to that. He scores, rebounds, and defends.
Here's Redick. Wade is covering. Howard kicks to Turkoglu to end the drought. Can't get it to go. And Miami will go the other way with the ball. Back to Wade for a moment. 25, 5, and 6. Steve, pretty much a standard year for Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, we pretty much take him for granted at this point, and it's a shame because his greatness is just amazing, especially at the offensive end of the floor. And now playing with LeBron and Chris Bosh, what a scary trio for the Eastern Conference to deal with over the next 5-6 years.
And good on the basket. Book it.
They strike right back with a three of their own.
Steve, that's a great way to respond after giving up the long ball.
Well, they've got the big lead early. We'll see if they can continue this momentum.
Yeah, you know, guys, they've been strong on both ends of the floor so far, and I think they can keep it up.
Now here's Turkoglu, looking for his first bucket of the game. Covered by LeBron. Over James. And no good trying to get that one. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. It's the Heat. They lead by 13.
And the defense has been key in building this lead. They've really clamped down hard.
They've done a nice job, Steve. I think challenging every shot, a hand up on every shot.
And we'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. Here is Duhan.
Well, for the Magic, it was another good season a year ago, and they took advantage of some of the weaker teams in the Eastern Conference. In fact, they were able to get 36 wins against East foes. Well, he didn't quit on the play. He defended the shot, contested it, and then got back straight to the glass.
Vanier left side. Ron right side. Lock at 6. Vanier outside. Launches a three. No good. So Orlando will take it the other way. Wow, Steve, 36 wins is a fantastic total in the conference. As you mentioned, that's big-time stuff, Clark.
Yeah, over 2/3 of their games against Eastern Conference opponents. A big reason why they made the playoffs.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, thank you. The Magic players have talked to Coach Stan Van Gundy about trying to curtail how often he criticizes his players. He says he's especially conscious of it after back-to-back games. As point guard Jameer Nelson put it, he picks his moments now. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. And as a coach, you always have to pick your moments.
You know, a lot of coaching is not what you say, but when you say it. And that seems to be what Coach Van Gundy is striving for.
And here is Duhan. Wow, came this close to a 4-point play. He'll head to the line for 3 free throws.
Contact on that three-point attempt, and he'll go to the line.
You know, you got to be careful beyond the arc as a defender to not pick up a foul like that. That's a bad foul. Well, I tell you what, the Heat breezed through round 1 of the playoffs, knocking off the Sixers in 5 games, but their true test, as everyone knew, would be against the Celtics in round 2. They came out strong early in that series and got it done.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Chris Bosh is checked in for Joel Anthony. Wade comes in for LeBron. And it's Chalmers in for Cole. Wade dishes to Bosh. Out to Wade. From the arc. Again, the miss by the Heat. Back to the Heat, they said after that Celtics win that beating them was a big driving force to forming the Big Three from the very beginning.
That's right, because none of them individually could beat Boston. They came together. They finally got past the Celtics. They beat Chicago, got into the finals, but of course, they didn't end up with what they finally wanted, which was that championship ring. So that's what they're shooting for this year.
You know, in Hito's first stint with the Magic, Kevin, he was pretty good. Provided a spark. He's not the same player he was then, but still is a guy who can give you a lift.
And Clark, back to Hito for just a second. He can still initiate the offense for him, as you mentioned, and is in good enough shape, Steve, I think, to run the show for him as well.
Well, the question is, Kevin, is he too old at this point? He's been in the league for a long time, and the athleticism isn't quite there. He can still initiate the offense, as you said, but more in a facilitator role. I don't see him scoring like he did earlier in his career.
Good. 11 points for Wade.
I tell you what, you watch this guy put it in the basket, and his scoring ability can just astound you at times.
Now a timeout called by Orlando.
He's on fire. They needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hands.
Here is Duhon. Now Turkoglu. Wade is covered. Wade against Turkoglu. Just 5 to shoot. It's stolen by Hazard.
Good defense there. He was just waiting for that one.
And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Heads up play, preventing the easy lay-in.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he saw it was a free layup, didn't want to give that up, so he fouled him to force free throws.
The free throw drops for Chalmers.
You know, guys, thinking back to Chalmers in the NBA Finals last year, he's one of the Heat's role players that I thought really ramped it up in a tough series and helped out the Big Three quite a bit.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Joel Anthony's checked in for Hazard. LeBron comes in for Shane Battier. And it's James Jones in for Dwayne Wade. Backing down is Howard. Here's Nelson. Free throw drops for Nelson.
And we're starting to see more free throw attempts, so I like the aggressiveness here in the second quarter, guys.
Well, you know, this is exactly what they need to do to climb back into this game. I mean, initiate contact, play smash-mouth basketball, and get to that free throw line.
Nelson against Chalmers. The dish now to Jones. LeBron against Richardson. Straight up. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Well, you brought up Chalmers, Clark. I mean, he was really, really good in that final series against Dallas. Knocked down his three-point shots, did a nice job of running the club. And I think really made a case for being the future starting point guard for the Miami Heat.
You know, with all the criticism that LeBron had in his move to Miami, all the criticism he received, it probably in some ways served as motivation for him after he got over the hurt and the pain of it. I mean, his mental makeup was a lot less jovial and more focused and more serious. And part of that is growing up, but I think part of it was the byproduct of what he had gone through. There's another smooth finish there, Kevin. I mean, he operates at such a high level when he's in close to the basket.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. That's perceptive what you say about his attitude, Clark, about LeBron James. And he did seem to have less joking around during games. He was out for vengeance, perhaps, almost. Steve, you called that Eastern Conference final last year, and you saw it firsthand, how he went right at the Chicago Bulls and a guy that beat him out for the MVP in Derrick Rose.
Yeah, and LeBron put on an incredible display during that series, Kevin. I think you're right, both of you guys. I mean, LeBron used that criticism all year long, and his teammates did too. They used it as motivation to prove people wrong, and I thought LeBron was fantastic. He had an amazing year.
Goes up low. No good from Howard.
And that rebound pushes their margin to +5 on the board. Solid job on the glass.
Well, it's just part of what they've done here to build this big lead. It shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, rebounding is a huge part of this game.
And that one's good by LeBron.
You know, to have somebody as dependable as he is on the offensive end, that's extremely invaluable to this team.
And that does it for the first half of play.
What a game for LeBron. He's got 13 points, and he's picked up 4 at the line in this one. Getting it done there as well.
Well, you always want to get to the line as often as you can. Execute the free throws. It's so important to a team's success, controlling the foul line.
Heat lead by 15.
Thank you so much for spending your Wednesday with us. I'm Damon Bruce, now for the HP Halftime Report. The Heat have just been all over the court. making mincemeat out of the opposition. They're taking him to school. Dwayne Wade putting on a clinic against Orlando. He has 11 points and has added some assists to his totals as well. It's been a disappointment, though, for the Magic so far. Overall, their effort just hasn't been on the level it needs to be, which is why they're struggling. A difficult first half for Hedo Turkoglu. Only a free throw for him. Not his usual points, and looks way off target in this one. And that's it for us here at 2K Sports Studios. Hope to see you back next time.
So many times I should have taken back this moment.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. Here's Richardson. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Chalmers against Nelson. Feeds to Howard. Shot clock at 6. Over Haslam. Nice touch on the bank shot. Howard's got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Magic.
I don't know about this, but I heard Dwight Howard gets 2 haircuts a week. Well, I've got the best hairstyle you could have. No maintenance, low maintenance.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, the Big Three all uniting in Miami was seen as a bit of a triumph from the players' point of view. In a sense, the players got a chance to pick where they wanted to play as opposed to the owners having control of where the players played. In a sense, wrestling away control from the owners. Whether or not that trend continues in the NBA, we'll see. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. What those 3 did in Miami in getting there really did shake things up.
Yeah, you know, so much of where you play is really out of your hands as an NBA player, so it's tough to find free agency and to get to that point where you've got guys who you want to play with who are also free agents and a team with that much cap room. So this was a rare opportunity for these 3 players, and they joined together.
The Heat making a switch here. Cole's checked in. Turkoglu against LeBron. Turkoglu passes to Richardson. Wade is covering. Richardson, no luck. The Heat leading by 12.
Oh, the Southeast Conference.
Oh, and the jam-high Wade. What a play. Here's another look with the Sprite Slam King.
You know, Wade's kind of started out last year, Kevin, in the playoffs rather slowly. But I tell you what, he woke up in a hurry after the first few games.
Quentin Richardson's checked in for Orlando. The and one is good, so a 3-point play that time. Yeah, Clark, going back to Wade, he didn't top 20 points until the 3rd game of that Phillies series against Doug Collins in the 76ers, but Steve then exploded and never looked back.
Yeah, but then he was kept under wraps fairly well in the Chicago series, but then against Dallas, he put in several games where he just exploded. So for Wade, you know, always capable of having a big night.
LeBron outside. T. Wade on the wing. 16 points for him. Top of the key. And again, it's the Heat missing.
He thought he made that one.
He sure did. I mean, it was an excellent look. It just didn't go down. You know, the battle for Florida dominance, guys, last season had some fire added to it with the talent on display between the Magic and the Heat. A lot at stake when those teams banged heads.
LeBron kicks to Bosh. A leaner. And the rebound goes to Howard. Back to what you said, the team split the season series. 2 wins for Miami, 2 wins for the Magic. And Steve, we may see a lot of that in the years to come.
Well, as long as Dwight Howard sticks around. Yeah, then it's an even matchup. And if he does, then Orlando can continue to put pieces around him. And you're going to have a great rivalry there in the Southeast Division.
With 1 on the clock, Nelson, no luck. The Heat leading by 10. The fader fires it up. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line. That one on Nelson.
Thinking back to LeBron, you'd have to think he'd go about the way he left Cleveland slightly different in retrospect if he had a chance to redo it and rewind a bit.
And he makes the first. And Clark, getting back to what you said about LeBron and that whole July of last year when he made this decision and made it so public, I think Cleveland fans were probably ticked off on many levels. They didn't like the show. They didn't like the way it was handled. They didn't like finding out over the air. And Steve, I'm sure you could agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think it was so much his decision to leave as a free agent. It's just the way he went about it. He could have handled it better. He knows that now. He's apologized. But because of the way it was handled, I think Cleveland fans will not be feeling too good about LeBron for a long, long time.
Kicks to Battier. Again, the miss by the Heat.
Had a good look at the rim, though. That was poor defense.
Nelson outside. Here's Redick. Here's Davis. He gets it to fall. That makes it just a single-digit lead. Davis has got his first points of the game. Well, it's been an exciting game. Plenty of offense as we head to the fourth quarter. Dwayne Wade really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Well, it's the concentration defensively, the anticipation, the quick hands. He's really been a force, a disruptive player today.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Disruptive, and he really forces you to pay attention to him at all times. You can't be looking around and not protecting the ball when he's around.
Live from Miami, we're back in a moment. So as we get rolling here in the fourth, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark. Doris, take it away.
Well, guys, the award goes to Dwayne Wade. He's had the hot hand here in this one with a lot of the team's offense coming from him. I expect them to look his way a lot down the stretch, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. It's, Clark, been a terrific game for him.
I agree with you, and we'll see if he can maintain it. He's been going full throttle thus far.
Well, the pace he's been going has been really incredible, and you wonder if he's got anything left here in the fourth quarter.
Jones with it. Battier kicks to Bosch. Davis is on it. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and two shots coming up. It's going to be on Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Very easy call to make. There was no question contact on that shot.
Yeah, you know, you can allow a little contact, but not quite that much. You know, you go back to the finals, and I think Bosch certainly was a factor on the floor. He didn't have the best shooting percentage, but he got better as that series wore on.
Well, going back to Bosch, guys, in the finals, he was inconsistent with his shooting percentage, but he had stretches where he was really good. And remember, he hit that game-winning shot in Game 3. I thought he was overall pretty solid for the Heat last season and in the playoffs. Another board for them, and they got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games, and if you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably.
Backing down is Howard. Over Bosch. Howard, good.
They're on track here in the second half after their less than impressive first half. I mean, I think they came out with some tired legs to start, but they've turned it around. They found some energy, and they look a lot more active and engaged. Guys, you know it's never easy to win on the road, but the Orlando Magic found a way last year as they finished with one of the best road records in the Eastern Conference.
The first one falls. Well, Clark, you're right. They were 23-18 away from Orlando. Steve, that was one of the best road records in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's impressive. And they've got a beautiful new facility there in Orlando, the Amway Center. They're a good home team, but the fact that they won consistently on the road was very impressive.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Bosch. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Shane Battier. Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
Well, you knew Miami would be a new big power in the East with the big three in tow. They didn't disappoint, blowing right by their conference win total from the prior season.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
In the break, guys, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. He challenged his team to step up in the final moments, saying essentially, if you want this game, go out there and take it. Nobody's going to give it to you. You have to go take it. Let's watch how it plays out, guys.
Yeah, Clark, what you were saying before, the Heat before LeBron and Bosh won 32 games in all. But with them on board, they won 38 games. Steve, very nice number.
Yeah, and that 38 was only bested by the Bulls' 39 Eastern Conference wins. So Miami really handled its business well last year.
And now 6 of their last 10 points from mid-range.
Yeah, jump shot really serving these guys pretty well.
Haslam a screen. Jones, that's for 2. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Jones has got 4 points in the quarter.
Now, the thing you notice, you look at the stat sheet, they have a lot more assists. That's been a factor.
Yeah, I like the fact they're moving the ball. Less ISOs, more ball movement, more player movement. It's a fun style to watch, commentate, and to play.
Here is Duhan, defended by Chalmers. And here's Anderson from the arc. The shot misses, and it's the Heat taking it the other way.
They have a nice lead here, and have really controlled the glass for the majority of the game. Kudos to them for their strong effort on the backboard.
Yeah, and they're sending a message, too, Clark. They're really coming out and playing a very physical game here.
And the basket by Wade. And the Heat lead by 20.
Going to the paint has been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Now they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
And a new group in for the Heat. Juwan Howard's checked in for Haslam. LeBron comes in for James Jones. Shane Battier is checked in for Dwayne Wade. And Cole subbed in for Mario Chalmers. Orlando also making some changes. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Davis. Richardson comes in for J.J. Redick. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Chris Duhan. Battier outside. The feed to LeBron. And it's Howard picking him up. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Battier.
And that ought to do it. That should seal the deal.
Yep, I agree. Closing it out with relish.
Turkoglu kicks to Howard. Over Anthony. And Dwight Howard again.
It's been a great day for him from the field, but his team still trailing.
And the Heat all-time hit. They're winning by 18. There's 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And a new group in for the Heat. Udonis Haslam, he's checked in for Joel Anthony. Wash comes in for Juwan Howard. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Shane Battier. And it's Chalmers in for Cole. James, it's in.
Yeah, that's going to do it. I mean, this thing is pretty much over. They played well.
Well, it has been a bit anticlimactic the end of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
Turkoglu against LeBron. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
There's a lot of contact there. Good call.
You know, he bothered his shot, but he still got a pair of free throws out of it.
That free throw missing. And he sinks the second. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
What an offensive performance it's been.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. And it's Howard picking him up from 11 feet away. And it's Miami with another.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
Haslam's there from 11 feet away. Can't connect. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And that about wraps it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And now, Jordan presents our player of the game, Dwayne Wade.